Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join three Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers! Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
We are talking about The Valley, Season 2, Episode number 9, When One Door Forecloses. I think it's a good title. I think it works.
Appropriate.
Yeah. We start out with Jasmine and Zack are rollerblading. I guess
So
that's a
funny.
California thing.
Yeah. I have a funny rollerblading story I'll tell you later.
Okay.
I used to rollerblade. I wasn't very good at stopping.
So bad landings?
Very bad landings, and one was in the middle of Summerfest at Windward Beach down the bottom of the hill.
Oh, there
And
you
it was
go.
so bad, like a bunch of 5-year-olds and 8-year-olds were pointing and laughing at me.
No.
It was bad.
Well, that's all right. It happens.
But they seem to be doing fine.
Yeah. So then we see Janet, Brittany, Scheana, and Michelle. They're all at the salon talking about Jack's getting out of rehab.
I wonder
Rehab in quotes.
Yeah, big time quotes. I wonder what Brittany's going to talk about when she doesn't have Jax to talk about anymore. Like, I understand she's talking about him, but it's like every single scene.
It is every single scene, but I do think that he is actually consuming her life. I think because she's in the midst of it, he is in rehab and still rage texting her 100 times a day.
Right.
So I think
which is a clear indication that he's not really in rehab.
Yeah, I think it's just all she knows right now. Like, she doesn't have any other point of reference. Kristen and Luke are hosting a housewarming party. And we meet this girl, Jenna. Jenna's there. She's friends with Kristen. And it turns out that Jenna used to date Aaron, who is Michelle's current boyfriend. Right? Okay. Zack said Scheana is, which is so true. Scheana is like Kevin Bacon, where everyone is like 1 degree of Scheana Shay. It is so true. It really is. She knows more people like than anybody I've seen on TV in a long time. Like, she really knows them.
Yeah. Well, she's been in LA for so long, right? Like, I don't know where she grew up. I have a feeling she must be from somewhere in California. I know Lala's from Utah, but she's been in LA for so long. I mean, we met her season 3 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I think it was, whenever Brandy Glanville came on. And she had already had the affair with Eddie Ciprian.
Right. I mean,
that's
she'd
how
already
long
been in LA.
she's...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been around a long time, and she's a connector, though. You know, I think that's what it is that she is a connector. Like, she keeps in touch with people, because I listen to many different podcasts, and very many of them are connected to Scheana. Like, they know her.
Yeah.
Like, when she's in town, she reaches out to them. She makes time for them. She meets up with them. Like, honestly, she puts the work in.
Yeah. Yeah, she does.
It's a lot of work to keep up with all these friendships.
And she wants to be on she wants to be on TV. This is what she wants to do. So
yeah, no, it is.
Does what she has to do to make sure she's going to, I guess, really.
Yeah. Zack and Danny go to this place, and Danny thought he was going to get Botox, but it turns out Zack was getting Botox in his scrotum, which we are calling Scrotox, which makes sense, right? And
yeah, but what didn't make sense to me is that the way they explained it was it makes them sag.
Yeah.
Like, it's not making them like tighter and perkier.
Right, which is what we would use Botox for on our forehead lines, right?
Right. And when you get your boobs done, you want them, as you age, you want them lifted and tighter and perkier.
Right, but these
guys are trying to make their balls look older?
Well, I don't think he was trying to make it look older. I think when we find out a little bit more about it, he thought that there would be some like kind of sexual gratification reasons to have them more low hanging, like it would be more sexually pleasing. I don't know. I mean,
so that's why he did it, we think.
I don't think it was specifically for an aesthetic look. I don't think he was looking for old man balls. I think
there was a pleasure element to it.
Yes, but either way, it still doesn't make sense to me because like we said, like the Botox is used to get rid of lines, right, in your face. For breasts, you would need to do surgery, which would be a lift, but I don't understand like how it has an effect that it makes them saggier. I guess it gets rid of the muscle, which is I don't know. I really have no
I don't
idea.
know either.
I'm really giving it too much thought because why do I even care? I don't have scrotum that I need to
We
work
have
out.
them. We don't have them, and Eric's not into elective surgery or anything like that, so there's no
Yeah.
chance
Yeah. Oh my god. Can
Eric's
you
getting
imagine?
Scrotox.
Can you imagine if we brought up to our husbands, let's go get some Scrotox?
I mean, I'm definitely gonna figure out what exactly it is and bring it up in conversation just to get a reaction, but
Oh my god, that will be so funny. Yeah, Zach said he just, I guess he's like, I just wanted to know what it felt like to have old balls. I don't know. Like he didn't even know why he was doing it.
yeah.
Interesting. So then Janet and
I don't know
Jason
how they walk around with those things hanging between their legs anyway. Why would you want them lower?
exactly, exactly. It's so true. We'll actually have to listen to, I haven't listened to them in a while, Bros and Show's take on this one. I would like to hear what they have to
That you're great idea.
I'd
Yeah,
like
I've
to hear.
actually been listening to them again, so yeah,
We'll have
that's
to
a
hear what
great idea.
because they would have more insight about the old
100
man balls situation.
Yeah.
Janet and Jason walk in, and Nia says that she feels like she needs to get a glass of wine because, she sees Janet. Danny said he's okay with Jason, but not with Janet. The last time they were together at the beach, Janet was the one who was going so heavy, like so hard for Jasmine. It wasn't Jason, right? And even the whole Nia thing, like again, it wasn't Jason so much as it was Janet going
Right,
after Nia.
right.
By the
But
way,
what's interesting to me is that Jasmine goes outside and says to Jason and Janet, "I'd like to have a conversation with the four of us, me, Melissa, Jason, and Janet." Why?
right.
Why do you need Melissa there all the time? Just go ask Jason to have a conversation with you.
I think I mean, listen, I agree with you. It could be one, she wants to get her girlfriend camera time, or
True.
two, because they were so close as couples, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. But I think it's probably more that she wants to get her girlfriend camera time,
Yeah, I'm starting to think you're right.
right?
Yeah.
I read online, and I don't know if it was AI, that Nia and Danny are leaving.
I think that's fake. I
Yeah,
think
because
that
I
was
went
fake.
went to Nia's Instagram and I didn't see anything on it. I don't know if I checked Danny's. I don't think it's real. I hate when they do this stuff. I don't want Nia and Danny to leave. But if they do decide to leave because they've got these 4 beautiful children and don't want to be bothered with this bullshit, I don't blame them,
I don't either.
but I don't want them to leave.
I don't either. I don't want them to leave, but I wouldn't blame them if they did. But I do think that that was fake. I couldn't find anything either because I think that kind of came out last week, didn't it?
Yeah, it did come out last
Yeah.
week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jenna, she goes out and she says that she wants to talk obviously to Danny because she dated Aaron, Michelle's boyfriend, and she tells did I say Danny? I meant Jesse. She tells Jesse 5 years ago that they dated for about a year and a half. Is that right?
No. She said they dated 5 years ago and then again a year and a half ago, but
Okay.
just briefly.
Okay, so they dated
It
twice.
wasn't long. Neither stint was of any substance,
Okay,
I gathered. First of all, Jesse saying, "Who's Aaron?"
I know.
Shut up, Jesse.
Yeah,
You know who
exactly.
Aaron is. He's the one sleeping with your wife.
Yes.
Come on now. Yeah, and then Jesse says that Luke told him 6 months ago that Michelle was seeing someone and couldn't get in touch with him and went to his house and caught him with another girl. And Jesse's like, "Is that Jenna?" First of all, who cares?
Right. Right.
Who cares?
Who does care, right?
Michelle doesn't care. She's dating him.
Yeah.
We don't care. We're happy that Michelle's with somebody who respects her. I guess Jesse's the only one who cares.
Yeah. Because he's always believed that Michelle's been cheating on him and he thinks it's with Aaron because she did admit to kissing somebody. But just because you kiss somebody doesn't mean that, I mean, I guess you could
I
consider a
mean, you had
kiss
sex with him.
cheating. Right. Right.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I wouldn't, if my husband,
Yeah.
God forbid, kissed somebody else, 100% that would be cheating to me. Carrying on any kind of emotional connection or texting or anything like that. I mean, I know it's not physical cheating, but your emotions are somewhere else.
Well, absolutely. I personally, I think an emotional affair is worse than just kissing someone, to be quite honest with you.
Totally, because you could get drunk, not saying
Right.
this ever happened to me,
No, but that's
but you
actually
could get drunk and make a terrible mistake and feel extremely remorseful the next day.
right,
But you're right, an emotional affair, you're not remorseful. You're not even thinking about your partner
right, right,
or acknowledging how they would feel if they knew what you were doing.
right. Exactly. We see that then Luke is talking to Danny about his plan to propose to Kristen in Hawaii.
It's exciting.
That is exciting. Then Brittany is telling Janet about what happened with Jax lying about going to the hospital and texting producers while she was on the phone with his sister.
Did you catch the part where she said he came home to get the mail? He
Well,
came home to get the mail. I guess that's when he did the camera thing.
was that while he was in rehab, he came home to get the mail?
Yes, and that
Okay.
must have been the day he did the camera thing. He's not in rehab.
Right.
They don't let you out to check mail.
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense. But he did say, again, but he lies all the time on the after show. He did say on the after show that his cameras do not have sound because it cost extra money. And that is not, oh, he also said it was all not true. He said all of it was not true. He said that, he didn't fake it. That's not true. You can't fake a heart attack. He said he didn't tell them not to say anything. He said all of that's not true.
So the producer coming out and telling Brittany that she was getting text messages from Jax was a lie?
Well, he didn't say that's a lie. He said that he was not he didn't bug the place and he wasn't hearing it. But I did read someplace, and again, this I don't know if is AI or not. His sister supposedly texted him while she was on the phone with Brittany. But that doesn't make sense because to our eyes, the viewer, his sister is on Brittany's side. His sister has been telling Jax for years that he needed to go to rehab and he needed to get help. So why would she be doing that to make him act crazier than he already is?
I wouldn't 100% not believe it. I
Okay.
think there could be some truth to that. I would hope not, but you're right. From where we're sitting, it looks like she's on Brittany's side supporting Brittany.
Right.
So let's hope that that's not the case. But that would be an explanation if there was no sound on the cameras.
Right. It just doesn't
Because
make
otherwise,
sense.
how the hell would he even know?
How would he know? Right. Because there was nobody else there
Right. Her
except for
mom, Brittany's mom.
right. And
Right?
production. Right. And
Right.
production.
Unless somebody on production was texting him.
Unless, I think that would be a better chance because what would make great TV?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. You're right.
I don't know. It's just, you know what? I do not believe a single thing Jack says. And the sad part about it is when he says everything that comes out of his mouth in his mind is the God's honest truth. Like he
Sure.
believes his own lies. He has no idea that he's not telling the truth.
No, he has serious mental health issues, Jax.
He really
So I
does.
don't know where he was, but honestly, he probably should have been taken to a real facility.
Mm-hmm.
We're all familiar with a place where he should have
Where you're locked down.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got serious, serious mental health issues.
Yeah.
If nothing else, I pray that they don't let him have visitation with that baby without supervision.
Unsupervised. I agree. He definitely should
Because
not be unsupervised.
he could just take that kid and take off.
Yeah.
I really think he's that unpredictable.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I hope she fights for supervised visitation.
I do too. I think she already did. I think she is. I think she said that she wants full custody. And as far as supervision goes, that would I'm sure be a stipulation. They're not going to give her full custody if the courts think that he's capable of taking care of him himself without supervision. Do you know what I'm saying? Then we see Michelle goes over to Lala's house. I didn't realize that Michelle and Lala were friends.
So they went on that hike together. Oh wait, was that Scheana? No, that was
Yeah.
Lala, right?
No, I think that was
No, that was
Scheana.
Scheana. I think that was
That
the
was
first time we
Scheana.
saw Scheana.
Yeah, that was Scheana.
But in the after show, don't they show Michelle with Lala?
Sometimes Michelle is with Lala. So they are talking about like the similarities between their exes.
Many, many, many
Yes.
similarities.
Yes. And we learn about her mom at this point having stage 4 colon cancer. And, the first treatment didn't work. And she was very, very vulnerable. Now, we learned about this where I think she was on Scheana's podcast and maybe even Lala's, where she had talked about it before this aired, that she had asked Jessie after her mom had passed
Yeah,
to watch her daughter because she just really needed to break down, and she did not want to do that in front of Isabella, and he was on his way to a party and
yeah.
wouldn't turn around to come.
He did offer to send a nanny
Yeah.
or offer to, utilize the nanny,
Right.
but no, he didn't. After telling her, whatever you need,
Right.
I'll be there for you, whatever.
Right.
So,
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I was tired of searching for new pickleball gear that actually is good quality and performs. So I ordered the Volleybird pickleball subscription box from volleybird.shop. Every 8 weeks, I get a box full of high quality curated finds for my sport. Think a cool new top to wear on court, plus unique equipment and wellness goodies. It's like having a shopper who gets my active life and desire for gear that's been curated and tested. I know if there's a 3-pack of pickleballs in there or a new vegan sunscreen, it's going to be decent and work for me. Check it out yourself at volleybird.shop.
So I felt, I thought that was a genuine scene. I thought that, we got to know her a little bit better because what we've seen of Michelle on the Valley, she's not really painted as I don't want to say a victim, but she talks about it with all the support that she sees Brittany getting with
yeah.
Jax, and she is in a very similar situation. Yes, Jesse is not doing drugs, but he is just as much of a narcissist, if not more.
Yes.
And she had all this going on with her mother, with the cancer. These are her friends too. Jesse's in this group too. Like, I feel like, she deserved to get, I agree with her. And
I agree with her 100%. I can't believe the amount of hate she gets online on social media. I can't believe when people put Team Jessie, I want to be like, what are you talking about?
I know.
Like, even if you don't like her personality because, people say she has no personality, whatever. Like, she's a very reserved person. And listen, I would imagine that when you're with somebody who verbally beats you down and emotionally beats you down, you're not going to walk into a room and be like, hey guys, how's it going? Like, you're not going to be this bubbly person. You're going to be guarded.
Yes.
I just can't believe all of the negative comments I see about her on social media.
I think a part of it is because she admitted to kissing somebody. So people think
She was the cheater.
that, right, and she's the one who left him. And she's, he said he wanted to make it work. That, it just honestly, it kind of reminds me of the hate that Paige was getting with Craig.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, because she left him. He, didn't want that story, she painted the story that it was mutual. He wanted everyone to know that it wasn't mutual, that she dumped him and he wanted to do whatever it took and that he was blindsided. But we know that that wasn't true. And Jessie is, I feel like, doing the same thing with her, like trying to make it seem like she's the bad person and you need to rally around me, and that, and even all the names that he calls her and,
Oh,
I mean, just
and I think in
horrible.
both instances, Paige and Craig and Jessie and Michelle, from the outside looking in, you would think that they were in a healthy relationship.
Right.
I mean, clearly Michelle and Jessie were not. But at least they were open and honest about it last season, meeting with the life coach and all that stuff.
Right.
Paige and Craig, we find out. I mean, I don't think their relationship was nearly as destructive as Jessie and Michelle's, but there were things there that made it unhealthy.
Yes, exactly.
But we wouldn't know it.
Right. And I mean, they didn't have a child. So, it was different in that respect too. But I agree. I don't like the way people are really like not giving Michelle support. And like you said, even her friends. Like, it's not cool. We talked about the Janet and Jason meeting up with Jasmine and Melissa.
Well,
They
we
talked
didn't
things
get
out.
to it. We said they made the plans to do it, but now they're there.
Yes. Jason said they were confused about what happened in the last 2 weeks, like what had changed. Jason said, Kristen came up to us and said, Jasmine, that you said Jason took his ring off. Well, we find out then that Jasmine made that statement a couple years ago.
But Jasmine said, I never told Kristen. But she totally told her at Brittany's party. They
Yes.
flash back to Brittany's party and she says it. So yes, I think she said it 2 years ago, but she
Yes.
said it again at Brittany's party.
Yes.
And then tells them, I never told Kristen. Yes,
Right.
you did. Maybe you were drunk or maybe you drank and you don't remember, but you did.
Right. Exactly. You did. They all agree that they don't want to fight and
Yeah.
they make up and they hug it all out. Okay. I hope that's it. I really hope that's it.
Jasmine does say she doesn't want to be on Janet's bad side. And I hate it when people listen, great, you squash the beef and hopefully we move on because honestly, nobody cares about Jasmine or Janet. But I
Good point.
hate when somebody will just squash the beef because they don't want to be on somebody's bad side. Like, what are they going to do to you? If they're wrong, and you have to call them out on being wrong. What is Janet going to do to you?
I agree.
I don't believe for 1 second Janet's got any pull anywhere with anyone.
No, I don't either.
I think she might be the most disliked reality TV person right now.
I think you might be right.
Right? Think about the shows that are running.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I mean, obviously, besides Jax.
Wow. And it's funny because the first season, it was kind of like, who do you hate more, Jax or Janet? It's kind of the same thing season 2.
Yeah. Well, no, because now we have Jesse in there too.
Well, that's true. We
Jax,
do.
Jesse, or Janet.
For some reason, Jesse is more likable than Jax, though. Just as equally as much of a douchebag, but I don't know why he's more likable.
I don't like him. I could see right through it. Listen.
Yeah, but
you know what the difference between Jax and Jesse is, as opposed to Janet? For whatever reason, not Jax as much, but Jesse's kind of charming. He has that little bit. He's charming, right? Janet, there's nothing charming about Janet.
No.
I think Jax has been around so long that I see like the charming is so far gone for me with Jax.
Yes.
Like the first 2 seasons, yeah, Jax was probably charming to me too. You know what I mean?
Well, but you know what Jax always had against him was he was so fucking cocky.
Yes.
Like, I mean, even to the point we're saying this is my show to Lisa Vanderpump.
Yes. Yes, that's
you
very
might have
true.
gotten away with saying that to anybody else, but not to the person whose show it actually is. Like, he was just so cocky and full of himself, like right out the gate. And Jesse probably is like that, but it doesn't come off as much on TV as it does with Jack.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
But he's clearly just as bad of a guy.
I agree. I totally agree. So Jax is getting out of rehab soon, and Zack and all the girls go over to Brittany's house because they kind of want to try and pick up her spirits. And I guess it was Kristen's idea to get all of Jack's stuff out of the house, that they're all going to pack up his stuff and just put it in the garage so that when he gets out, he doesn't have to come inside the house. He doesn't need to enter the house. He can get his shit out of the garage and just keep on going, which I think was a good idea. I definitely think that was a good idea.
Especially the part where she would put one shoe in one bag and the other shoe in another bag.
That was Kristen.
But I can see where Michelle was probably like, what the fuck? Where were you guys when I had to pack up and leave my house? Like, unless they helped her and we never saw it.
No, I don't think they helped her because I think that like Brittany, Michelle had to move out of the house because Jesse wouldn't leave. Brittany had to move out of the house because Jax wouldn't leave. She didn't get the house back until he went to rehab and signed a lease.
Right.
Which
that's you can't do in rehab. You cannot sign a lease. You cannot go look at an apartment and sign a lease when you're in rehab. We should make a list of all the things you can't do in rehab that Jax claims he did in rehab.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, he's such a liar.
So then, while they're all there doing it, it was Zach's idea to change the name of Jax's bar to Brits for one night so that she would feel supportive. I think that was such a sweet idea. I really do.
It was super cute, but can you imagine Jax watching these scenes? One, them packing his shit up, and two, them changing the name of his bar to Brits. He must be going batshit crazy watching this.
Well, he talked about it on the after show.
Oh, he did? I didn't watch the after show this
Yeah,
week.
he talked about it on the after show. He said that he was really annoyed about the shoes because he had a hard time finding his shoes. And I think it was Janet, specifically, he mentioned, I think it was Janet, who like destroyed one of the pictures with his face on it. Maybe it was Jasmine. I don't know. One of them destroyed a picture with his face on it. And he was upset about that. And how
I don't think I would have done that.
No.
At the bar. Didn't she do that at the bar?
Yeah.
Not at the house.
Yeah, no, at the bar.
Jax, there's a million pictures of you at that bar. Stop.
Right, at the bar. It was definitely at the bar, and they put pictures of Brittany over him, so maybe that's when it got destroyed. It's not, I don't think there was any like, oh, let's destroy this picture. I think they put a picture of Brittany over him, and it maybe did destroy the picture in the meantime. But he said it was very hard. And Jesse on the after show was saying, you know, I didn't think that this was a good idea. Here, this guy's getting out of rehab, and we're all like having a party. And the picture comes up where he was in the picture, Schwartz was in the picture, and Schwartz is in the after show. Jax was really mad at Schwartz. He wasn't talking to him for a couple days about that because he was in the
because
picture.
he went to the party.
Because he went to the party.
Jesse didn't go, right? Oh no, Jesse did go. He didn't drink.
Jesse
did.
Had to
pick Jax up the next day.
Right. He had to pick Jax up. And I don't think Jesse wore the shirt. Like some of them, like they went, but they didn't wear the shirt. Like, whatever. So Brittany says, as they're packing up all the clothes before she goes to see the attorney, she's like, thank you guys for doing this. And she starts like getting emotional. She's like, she really does love him. And I believe she really does love him. I think that that's what kept her there all these years. The next day, she does go to the attorney. And, the attorney is the one that, like...
She's listening to the stories and she's like...
Yeah, like...
You need to file.
Yeah, like, this is scary. Like, he's, like, stalking you. Like, this is dangerous. And...
Did you notice when they were packing up the house, nobody would put their glass of wine down as they were, like, packing things? They're packing things and they're carrying the bags, but they wouldn't put down their glass of wine.
I did not notice that. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, that lawyer seemed highly concerned with what Brittany was telling her.
She tells the lawyer they'd been separated since January of that year. They didn't legally separate it. That what's changed is that he's recently gotten aggressive and he threw furniture at her. He's rage texting her, stalking her. She talks about how he was $1.2 million behind in taxes before they got married, which, by the way, we found that out, how that happened. So it went into the mortgage payment. It took the money out of the equity in the house, and that's how she got stuck with that in her mortgage payment. And that's why...
I cannot believe that. So they basically rolled it into their mortgage.
Yep. And that's why he was the one paying the mortgage, and she was paying all the other bills, because the reason the mortgage payment was so high was because of him.
I mean, how do you not pay your taxes to get it up to $1.2 million? Fucking loser. Pay your taxes. The rest of us assholes have to pay our taxes.
Yep.
What a fucking loser.
Yep. And then she also mentions how at one point they took $100,000 out of her account because they were married.
He just took it.
No, he didn't take it. I think the IRS took it.
Right.
Or the bank took it. Maybe it was the bank.
Yeah, I don't know how they can do that, but I'm sure they did it. I'm sure she's not lying.
Yeah. So, the lawyer says that she should file divorce sooner than later, and she recommends that she does it first. And I guess that's in certain states, that's really important. That first one to file is the important to get the ball rolling. So she's like, well, can we start it today? And she's like, yeah, we can get it done today or tomorrow.
What do they call that? A no-fault state? Is California a no-fault state? So maybe like it doesn't matter what circumstances you file under. Maybe that's why it's important to file first.
It could be. It could be.
Like there's no circumstance, but as long as you're the first one to file. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never done divorce, and I certainly don't know California laws.
Yeah. So Brittany also said, I think this was also in the after show, when she went there to talk to the attorney, she thought she was just like going to interview a couple attorneys. Like she had no intentions. Did she say this during the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I
Yeah.
couldn't remember it was after show. So she had no intentions
Yeah.
of doing it right then and there, but after, like, she really liked this attorney, and after she, like, pointed it out to her, she's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And she was afraid that she wouldn't do it, after he got out. So I'm so glad that she did that. I mean, they all were, like.
Absolutely.
So then
Because
it's
that's what happens when
yeah,
you're in the moment. It's like you're so scared. You're so scared. But if you let time go by, like if she left there and went home, she probably still wouldn't have filed.
right, right. So then it's the next day, and we find out that Zach had T-shirts made for all of them that said Brits, and he's out there, and they're putting a banner over his sign. And they had the lights inside that said Brits. It was just a temporary fun thing that they were doing for her. It wasn't a permanent thing.
Right.
Kristen goes up to Janet and wants to make sure that things are still good with them. And because Kristen said Scheana said Janet was still shit talking about her.
Yeah, because then they flash back where Janet and Kristen had a lunch and Kristen thought they were good.
Right.
And then, of course, Scheana off camera, because she's got to, get herself in there.
Yes. Yes.
Told Kristen about. So I guess they met for lunch before Janet and Jason were over Sheena's house for that barbecue or whatever. That's when Janet was shit talking Kristen.
I hope that's the case because it's so hard to follow these things when.
Yes. And it's funny because the reason is they really are friends. So whether they're filming or not, it's not like Housewives where if
Right.
they're not filming, they don't even know each other.
Right.
Like these people are really friends and really hanging out.
Right. Exactly.
So so much must happen off camera.
Yeah. It's
which
true.
is good.
Yeah, yeah. So then we see that Danny's starting to get a little drunk, and they are saying Dark Side Danny's coming out. Nia gets upset about this whole thing, so she goes over to the bar to kind of get away from the situation. Jesse then pulls Danny aside and says, let's go for a walk.
Smart move, Jesse. I will give Jesse credit where credit is due.
Yes.
Great move.
Nia's frustrated about Janet, why she's always coming for Danny. Like, why is she coming for her relationship?
And, it's not like Danny was sitting there being belligerent or calling anybody names or anything, but I'm sure that however he was acting was an indicator.
Right.
That he
Dark
was
Side
on a
Danny.
path.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've all seen it before. And Nia definitely, you could tell in her reactions to him, like she wanted to get him the fuck out of there.
Yes. And they've said that about her, like that she protects him. That's what a wife does. A wife protects her husband.
I have been in that situation with my husband. My husband has been in that situation with me. One Christmas party for work, Eric came over to me and was like, "You are loud. This is my work Christmas party. I drank so much. You are loud. You are talking like you are on Sopranos. You are saying the F word every other word." He's like, "We need to go." And thank God I was like, okay. Because I could have been like, "Fuck you. I'm having fun." You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, listen, sometimes, the alcohol just takes over.
Yeah.
It happens,
and you
right?
think you're having a good time, but then, it just takes one person to be like,
yep,
you need to chill,
Yep. Yeah, so
it happens, but
it does happen. And listen, Nia calls for an Uber because she wants to leave. Meanwhile, Janet's still talking shit about Danny.
yeah, my husband's not out there pinching people's asses.
Right. Like, they've already, that's been addressed so many times already. Why do you need to bring that up? Why?
Because she's an asshole.
Right, that's
She's
it.
the one pretending like she's got the perfect marriage and the perfect husband. She's fucking lucky that guy's still around.
It's so funny. I think it was on our YouTube channel. Somebody said, the big question is, how did Janet land Jason? It's so
I think
true.
that Jason I'd like to know how they met. Like, was it at work? Was it because Jason is clearly a very laid back, not probably super outgoing, very nice, but shy, introverted.
I think Jason dated Scheana first.
Really?
I think that's how Janet met Jason. I think that Scheana and Jason may have dated. I'm almost positive that that's how Janet met Jason.
That's interesting.
Is through Scheana.
Yeah, I think Janet just, guys like that, to me, like introverted, quiet, they like the crazy girls.
Yeah.
And he got one.
He did get one. He really did. Yeah,
I liked when Michelle was like, Danny's a little bit of a lightweight when it comes to alcohol. Like, she said it in the most, like, politically correct way she could. But she did tell Janet that she doesn't feel like she's getting the same support as Brittany, and I don't blame her.
No, I don't
I
blame her
really
either.
don't.
No, I don't either. I don't either. So Jesse talks about how he's picking up Jax tomorrow from rehab, and he knows how upset he's going to be when he finds out like what happened the night before at the bar.
Yeah.
Who cares? I mean, I get it. I get it that he's your friend, but
He doesn't want him triggered,
yeah, he doesn't want
being
him
that he
triggered.
just came out of rehab.
Right. But, it's funny because even in the after show, like Jason was saying, and even on this episode, like all the things Jack said to me on the phone about how, he was taking care of things, like none of it was true. Like Jason sees through it, but yet doesn't really call him out on it. Because on the after show, he's like, yeah, I asked him about that. And what did he say? Well, yeah, he said that, yeah, that's how it's going to be. Like, yeah, the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but no, that's not
He's
it.
a liar. He's just a liar.
He really is a liar. He really is. And it's old. So I don't know how many more episodes we're going to have. Like I said, we're on episode 9.
Yeah. So, how many more can there be? It's the Valley. It's not,
Yeah.
I don't think we got a lot more than that last season.
No, I honestly, I hope we don't have that many left
I
because
agree.
I'm kind of over it. I am. I really
Me
am.
too.
I'm kind of over it. And plus Miami started, so I'm, excited to recap Miami. And then in July
Me
we
too.
have
OC.
OC's coming back in July. So
Beverly Hills is filming, right?
Beverly Hills is filming. So if we end the Valley now, I'm okay.
So, not to bring it back to Jersey, but I'm gonna.
Of course
I
you
don't know
are.
why I do this to myself. I almost text you and cousin Gina as I was watching it. The other night, I was bored. There was nothing on. Was it after the NBA game? I don't know. But I go on to Peacock. I think I looked for an after show for something and I couldn't find it. So I find myself watching Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 13, finale party, where Dolores has the Roaring 20s party at
Mm-hmm.
Paulie's condo.
Yep.
And Louis starts talking about Bo Dietl.
Dietl. Yep.
And he's all coked out with his eyes. And I don't care. You can come for me. That's exactly what was going on.
Ooh.
So I watched that episode. And then I watched the third episode of the reunion. I can't believe they let this guy back on TV after this reunion. He's a fucking psycho. He's sitting there. Joe Gorga's talking, and he's like, you'll see. You'll see. You'll get yours. You'll see. And Joe Gorga's talking. He's like, what? Like, what did you say? Like, your day is coming. Like, he's nuts. Bravo. And they put him on the next season. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. It gets me so worked up. And I don't know why I torture myself by watching these reruns.
I don't know why you torture yourself either, but I have a suggestion and let me know what you think. So I am going away in July, the beginning of July. I'll be gone for a week, right? So I was thinking like can run like reruns of the podcast, right? Old ones. Or
Yeah.
maybe you might want to do an episode with cousin Gina where you talk about some old Jersey ones. Because I know
Oh, that's a great idea.
like she gets riled up too. And I think people would like to hear it.
I think I think cousin Gina and I really got to break this Louis situation down.
Okay, why don't you do that?
I
Listen,
think we're gonna.
our Jersey episodes, our listeners enjoy them because we're Jersey girls. So I think that we're going to get cousin Gina and you guys are going to review some, old Jersey episodes, break down some episodes, just pick a couple. And
Yeah, because, and not only that, we could talk about when we went to see the husbands and how Louis' ex was there.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay, good. Because I was worried about that. I was like, should I bring it? Should I bring the MacBook? And
Now, you're going to be on a cruise. You don't even know if you could,
I know.
you know?
I know. I'm a crazy person like that. I'm a crazy person like
no,
that.
don't worry about it. Well,
All right.
I mean, well, I guess there would be no Love Hotel.
There'll be no Love Hotel.
Yeah,
It'll
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Great idea.
So that's it for this one. Until next time, thank you for watching and listening. Please subscribe and give us 5-star reviews. Bye.
Bye.